Hey, welcome. So today, we're digging into something most of us have probably experienced: company sports. The annual charity 5K, the after-work softball league. We usually just write these off as a bit of fun, right? A way to let off some steam with coworkers. But what if it's actually way more than that? What if it's a very deliberate strategy? Let's get into it.
Just think about it for a second. Have you ever actually been out there on a field, a court, maybe a running path with your colleagues? If you have, you already know it's a whole mix of feelings. Maybe you felt that incredible thrill of victory, that amazing moment when your team scores the winning point and suddenly you're high-fiving that person from accounting you barely ever talk to.
Or you might know the other side of the coin, those slightly forced, kind of awkward conversations on the sidelines while you're supposed to be stretching. And there's always that one person, maybe it's even your manager, who takes the company kickball game just a little too seriously. Well, whether your experience was fantastic or awful or just plain cringy, it turns out there's something much, much deeper going on. The big idea we're diving into is this: your company softball league. It's secretly a management strategy.
Yeah, you heard that right. This whole thing goes way beyond just a wellness program or some vague team-building exercise. We're going to start peeling back the layers and look at the actual system that's designed to turn a simple game into a powerful management tool.
So researchers have a name for this: management through sport. And the word that really jumps out here is deliberate. This isn't some happy accident. It's the idea that companies can, and often do, use sports as a specific tool to improve everything from your own personal job satisfaction all the way up to the company's bottom line. But here's the thing: company sport isn't just one single thing. It turns out there are a bunch of different types, and each one has its own unique structure and goals. And academics have actually mapped it all out into a really clear system. Okay, take a look at this flowchart from the research. It breaks the whole thing down. Basically, academics created a kind of classification system based on three key questions. First, is it something you do regularly? Second, are you doing it with your colleagues? And third, is it officially backed by the company? Depending on how you answer those, you land in one of four different categories. So this gives us four main archetypes. First, you've got your intramural leagues. These are internal and all about competition. Think of a flag football tournament just for employees. Then there are company sport clubs. These are also internal, but they're way more focused on just participating, like a chill company jogging club. Then you move outside the company walls. You've got company team sport leagues, where a company's team goes up against other companies. And finally, you have casual sport activities, which could be as simple as you and a few coworkers deciding to join a city pickleball league together. Okay, so now we know what all this is, but how does it actually work? How does playing soccer with people from marketing actually translate into better company performance? Well, believe it or not, there's a model for that too.
I know. At first glance, this model looks pretty intense, but it's actually telling a really simple story. It maps out the entire journey, from what motivates people to even play in the first place, all the way to the final results for the individual, the team, and, yep, the entire organization. Let's break it down. So over on the left side of that model, it all starts with the why. What actually gets people to sign up for this stuff? At the individual level, it's what you'd probably guess: just plain fun, getting in shape, or what the researchers call a harmonious passion, which basically means the sport fits into your life in a healthy way. Then at the group level, it's about wanting to feel a sense of community, of belonging. And finally, at the organizational level, it often comes down to just feeling like your company genuinely cares about and supports your well-being. So if those motivations line up, what's the actual payoff? Well, the results happen on a few different levels. For you, the individual, it can mean better physical and mental health, and even being happier in your job. For the group, it can build stronger social bonds and make communication way more effective back in the office. And all of that, it can roll up to the organizational level and actually contribute to the company performing better as a whole. And trust me, this is a big but. It's not always a perfect success story. The research is super clear on this. Company sport is a total double-edged sword. For every potential positive, like creating inclusion and teamwork, there's a serious risk of the opposite. It can make cliques even stronger, it can exclude people who can or just don't want to play, and it can even become a whole new stage for workplace politics. Just think about who gets passed the ball and who gets ignored. Okay, so we've got the framework now. Let's bring this all back home. What does all this academic talk actually mean for you in your everyday work life? Here's the bottom line. If you're an employee, it's really important to see that these activities are more than just a game.
The relationships you build or don't on that field can subtly impact your team dynamics and maybe even your career path back at your desk. And if you're a manager, the takeaway is to be strategic. By all means, use sports as a tool, but you have to be incredibly careful about those risks. The potential for cliques, for conflict, and for making people feel left out. This quote really just nails it. Company sport is a workplace laboratory. And it really is, isn't it? It's this unique space where the usual office hierarchies can kind of melt away, where different people can step up and lead, and where you can test how a team works together in an environment that has much lower stakes than some massive, high-pressure project. And all of this leaves us with one final question to chew on. Think about your own workplace. When your company puts on a sports event, are they strategically playing to win, to actually improve well-being, culture, and performance? Or are they just playing? The answer to that might tell you a whole lot about the company you work for.